do this. If everyone, we'll have everyone introduce themselves, and then we'll officially start. But let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. We can start with you, Rosanna, so that our speakers know who are here this evening. And if you guys have anything, a question about insurance or taxes, or you just here to learn, we'll start with Rosanna.
Okay, so Rosanna Vogt, I am the founding director of the Circle of Angels Initiative, and I was bragging about some of my reflected glory earlier, but I do also have glory of my own. We propel people from poverty to prosperity, and therefore, all of the things that we talk about in Vail are important. But one of the things that one of my friends once said to me a long time ago was, you pay for insurance before you pay for bread, because it's that important to have.
I'll take it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anne Frank, and where do I begin? Well, Dawn told me about the Vail workshop, and I'm very curious, and anywhere that Dawn goes that I can go, I'm going. I guess right now in my career path, I am a serial entrepreneur. I have a couple of projects and businesses that I'm launching, but more importantly, I am pivoting back to my first love, which is financial services. In my 20s and 30s, and I'm way past that now. I work for Prudential and Cigna Healthcare, and just, I did a lot of that, and I got out of the business too soon. And as of late, and it's in my bio, I'm going to be with you all next week at the anniversary, but people are just having so much difficulty in the area of finances, and I realize it's because they're not aware. They're not aware of how to utilize and how to protect their assets and so on and so forth. So my mantra is, I want to educate people to the aha moment. And so that's my project I'm doing now. I work for, or I'm connected with a Equity Financial Services. And so I'm getting back into the market. I'm going to get my license again next month. And I'm excited about it.
So I'm Hannah Tucker, and I'm a co-founder of HH Marketing Agency. That's with my sister, and what we do is we help businesses grow on social media, where we help them to promote either their product or services, like I said, on social media, like whatever the platform they're on, like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever like their audience is, and we try to be as creative as possible to reach people and just connect with them on what they're looking for with that business that they're interested in.
Hey, my name is Haley Tucker, and I'm the founder of H&H Marketing Agency. As Hannah explained, we help businesses with managing their social media platforms, just to help them figure out ways to help them reach their target audiences. And we're just here. We don't know much about the workshop. Her mom told us to come, but
Very important stuff.
And you get C4 credit.
But we're just interested in learning more about. I guess it's on protections on that's how to protect our business more. Yeah. So it's excited to be here.
Good. Thank you for coming.
My name is Karen Eggert, and I run a small business as a professional organizer. So do some work in Calvert County, but a lot in DC and Virginia. And so I have some insurance, but I want to make sure I have the right insurance and enough insurance. So, and I have no employees. It's just I'm a solopreneur. So.
My name is Edsel Brown. I have a law firm. I do small business, trademarks, government contracting, and entertainment. Also a small business consultant. Was a year-old SBA for 29 years. I'm smiling because in a former life, I I was in financial services. I was a stockbroker and an insurance broker for over 20 years. I left that behind. I'm also on the board of C4. I'm proud to announce that they're great participants in the program. And also I'm chair of the Southern Maryland Minority Chamber of Commerce, of which they do a great job of putting on newsletters.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Yes. Awesome. Love it.
Chris Banks, and 41 years in education, teacher, vice principal, different things. Part of the teachers union, help negotiate contracts. Here in Calvert, also in St. Mary's. When I started teaching in Boston, and it's been so long since I lived there. But I enjoy living in Boston because I love history, which brings me to the fact that I'm part of the Calvert Historical Society.
Thank you for your service on that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's awesome.
And when I retired in 2013, that's the first place I joined. One place I decided to work with was volunteer with the Historical Society. But I decided I wanted to take a real estate class, but I told myself, no, I have to give myself 6 months before I commit to anything in terms of working. But I did, and I've been a realtor for 13 years. And I know Dawn encouraged me to join the Calvert Minority Business Alliance. And I just, from my continuous work with the Alliance, I'm always getting ideas about marketing and just promoting your business. And I watch the people in the Minority Business Alliance promote themselves, promote their business. And never thought I'd ever be an entrepreneur. Never thought I would. And my son keeps saying, when are you going to retire? And so I'm not retired. And it's been a good year. This year's been a very good year. I've sold in Anne Arundel, Frederick, of course Calvert, St. Mary's, Charles, different places. And I appreciate it. And Dawn would give me references and say, call so and so. I think she may want you to list your house. And I called them, and sure enough, that's what she wanted. That person wanted done it. And so various ones that get, and Christine has also sent names my way, people my way, and I appreciate it.
All I can say is wow, because I'm very proud of this group of people, an organization, us here, entrepreneurs here in Calvert County. We all partner, we all work together, and proud to be a part of the Chamber of Commerce and Southern Maryland Minority Chamber. But it's just great to see all of these businesses. I mean, Carrie, we have a picture of you in one of our things from an event we did, and you would be out. We were planning the 20-year anniversary of the Calvert County Minority Business Alliance, and it's not just the CCMBA; it's all the businesses and groups of people here who are coming together who want to just grow their business and to share, because that's what we have to do. So tonight, I get to just give a little introduction. This is the Calvert County Minority Business Alliance in partnership with C4, which is, what does C4 stand for? That's
Calvert Concept Charitable Corporation.
And that is a nonprofit that has started up and has gone gangbangers helping people in Calvert County to start a business and or save money to purchase a home. And groups and in the library, work with the Calvert County Library and people like Rosanna's nonprofit. I'm just flabbergasted. And I'm not just saying that lightly, because look back over 20 years and to see how business has grown, it's amazing. And I am very proud of Haley, and I'm proud of all of you, everybody here. But I just cannot tell you that, we tell them every day, you have started and created your own job. Mm-hmm. And as Chris is showing us here, you can take, 41 years in education, now she's going and being gangbangers with real estate.
And I have to mention C4, because my current client that I have came through the C4 program, and hopefully she'll be an inspiration to others, because she saved those 3 years every month turning in that information about what she deposited. And C4 was able to assist her in moving forward because May 15th, she'll be a first-time enrolled homeowner. Thanks to the
Hopefully she'll be the first of many.
Yes, first of many, yes.
She will be. So with that said, we are going to introduce our speakers tonight. This is bail, banking, accounting, insurance, and legal. And it's part of a series that helps people with procurement, entrepreneurship, and workforce. That we are just come together to provide training information. And our speakers tonight are Ms. Christine Coates. And Christine will tell you about her business. She's just coming off of fiery tax season. And Ms. Carrie Coates.
Christine.
Tonight, I'm telling you.
And Ms. Carrie Coates is going to share about Oak Point Insurance. But we're going to start with Christine and let them take it away. They'll do their sharing, and then they'll take questions and go from there. Christine.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So I want to first give honor to God for this opportunity to come before you this evening. Also, I want to thank CCMBA, especially Dawn. She's a mentor to me, and she's helping me to come out of the shell, with speaking. This is, I think, my second appearance with speaking in a crowd of people. So help me along the way, okay? So my name is Christine Coates, and I am the owner of CC Professional Tax Services. I want to say CCMBA, but CC Professional Tax Services. I've been doing taxes for about 25 plus years. I specialize in individual tax returns as well as business tax returns. This year, I even got a couple of corporation tax returns. So my business is steady growing, and so I had a successful season, and I am glad to be a part of CCMBA. And I am also part of the North Beach Volunteer Fire Department, and I have a new group called Faith Builders, and so I am so proud of what I have accomplished this far. But tonight I want to talk a little bit about the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Okay, I know that accounting was on the flyer for tonight, but I'm going to talk about taxes, the One Big Beautiful Bill. How many people here have already filed their 2025 taxes? I applaud you, because there's a lot of people that have not filed. And I want to express tonight that you should make tax planning part of your lifestyle, because it comes once a year. Everybody is mandated to file taxes. So I would like to express that you should make that a priority. Tax planning is very important to what your bottom line is going to be. So I have a couple of key points here for 2025 tax law changes and the impacts that it had on individuals and business tax returns. So the new Big Beautiful Bill has introduced new tax benefits. The standard deduction is one of the 2025 tax law changes. So, each year, like the standard deduction increases. For a single filer, the standard deduction is $15,750. For a head of household, the standard deduction is $23,625. For a married filing joint couple, it's $31,500. And for married filing separate, it's $15,750. So with this standard deduction, a lot of people can't itemize. A lot of people are losing out on filing their property taxes, the mortgage interest, just because they can't meet this standard deduction. So what I like to do, what I recommend to my clients is, if you make charitable contributions, non-cash charitable contributions, and of course cash contributions, just to help you to get over that, what the standard deduction is. There are 7 federal income tax brackets, right? And it all depends on what your adjusted gross income is. But the first tax bracket it starts at 10% and it goes up to 37%. So one of the key points this year for the One Big Beautiful Bill Act is the tip income. So this year, the tip income was a tax deduction. It was not, you didn't have to count it as income up to $25,000. The second key point is overtime pay. If you had overtime pay, it played an important part on the 2025 taxes this year. A lot of people got refunds because they had overtime, and that overtime was considered a tax deduction this year. Also, there's a senior deduction this year. That's another key point. And the senior deduction for 65 and older was $6,000. Another key point was your car loan interest. A lot of people miss out on this one. They're not aware that they can deduct their car loan interest and the sales tax on buying a new car. The child tax credit was increased this year from $2,000 to $2,200. Then you, of course, have the other dependents care credit, which is pretty standard, has been pretty standard over the years, and that credit was $500. So there's something that I did some research because a client came into my office this year and he was asking me, had I heard of the Augusta tax rule? Have you heard of that? So there's something new that was brought to my attention. According to IRS 280AG, the Augusta rule allows homeowners to rent their primary residence or second home for 14 days without reporting the income on your federal tax income. So, this client, he's a business owner. He had 2 businesses, but he also rented his place for 14 days. And so that income that he occurred from renting his house out, it was a tax deduction this year. So it helped him get a larger refund at the end of the year. So that's something new that I wanted to bring out tonight. Also, for Maryland residents, you can utilize the Maryland Solar Access Program, which provides up to $7,500 for eligible income qualified homeowners. And lastly, the clean energy credit for if you have a vehicle that is, electric vehicle. So that tax credit was $7,500 for this year. So all of these things that I just informed you of are, good things that you can use on your tax return to lower your adjusted gross income. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Cool. You go first. I'll be the first one. Well, Christine, let me see. 2 questions. For the Augusta rule, where homeowners can rent their primary residence for 14 days and get tax deduction, can homeowners who rent their homes, like say they have a basement apartment and they've been renting it, is it that they can deduct up to 14 days? Or is
So 14 days was allowed without claiming the income. Okay. So if you have more than 14 days, then the income that you receive for rental income, then you have to claim that as income.
But
14 days was like tax-free.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I missed the other one that you talked about, the solar. You said something about a solar benefit.
Yes, so the solar, it's a solar energy credit. So if you get solar panels on your house, that's considered solar. That's a $7,500 tax credit.
Okay. Well,
that's
All
excellent.
right, good. Thank you. Excellent, thank you for that.
So my question was about 2026 taxes, and if you're not clear on this, that's just fine. But I understand there's some changes for charitable deductions in 2026, and I'm wondering if you could speak to that.
So 2026, I have not heard any
Okay.
changes, but we do know the laws can change like yesterday and today and tomorrow, so tax laws changes all the time. So this is why, I have to go and get my certification hours every year to learn the new tax laws. But as this one big beautiful bill, it's supposed to last for about 3 years. So, these laws that are in place right now, it's going to be for the next 3 years.
Yeah, and I think it was part of the one big beautiful bill.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay. Anything else?
We'll have some more, go ahead, Ms. Carey, but sure, I have some questions later.
Well, everyone can turn over your papers now. Hi everyone, my name is Carrie Polk. I'm the previous owner of Carrie Polk Insurance Inc. In Prince Frederick and Charles County, or Waldorf, just since September of last year. I started that business in '96, and then I kind of sold my agency to Oak Point Insurance. And so now I just love being an associate. Believe me, I love the entrepreneurship too for almost 30 years, but it's nice just to be in the office and do what I love. And actually that's financial services too, but I've been doing property and casualty, home and auto, commercial for so long. So it's wonderful to be asked by Dawn and Roseanne to be thought of and come here talking about insurance. So it's a passion of mine, and again, talking for 15 or 20 minutes is a very high overview. So I have a little handout to go over some key points, and then at the end I'm going to give you some resources that will give you some more information. So, there's a love-hate relationship with insurance. I get it. It's not just a requirement, but it is protection for everything that we build or we are going to build. We have to always think about the future, and those laws do change. So as a business owner, whether you're a sole proprietor or a big corporation, risk is going to show up in many forms. And that's going to be lawsuits, property damage, employee injuries, cyber threats, and one accident can actually turn into a major expense people don't realize. So insurance doesn't just stop the risk, it's going to help your business survive it. And there are differences between risks and hazards. And you really need to understand the difference. And us as agents or brokers do. There are people are getting insurance online. They're going to 800 numbers or different things. And I just think business insurance, leave it to the professionals for us to understand your business. So again, it's not just compliance, it is a peace of mind and stability. And the agent, like us, really helps you analyze your insurance risk. And we're going to help you grow and change as your business does, because we can see and understand your business. A few common mistakes that I see business owners make are buying insurance and then never reviewing it afterwards. There's obviously a gap, potential in there, and especially if you add additional services, people think that you have insurance, it covers everything. It does not, and we're going to go over that. Also, my second mistake is comparing insurance with other business owners. You see this a lot with home and auto, but business is the same thing. Why can't I get my business insurance for $500? Why am I paying $1,500? Why am I doing this and Joe's not doing that? Again, it's a lot of comparables on what it needs to be. Working in other states that you may not be covered for. Yes, we are in the DMV area, but that doesn't mean your insurance is going to cover you in all those states. So it's really important for you to talk to your agent where your risk is going to be, because you don't want to have something and then have something not be covered. And be careful what you post online and on your website. Myself, we're nosy. Insurance carriers and underwriters are even nosier. So if you don't do it, then take it off your website, because we're going to look at, There's a lot of sometimes, a client will walk in, I'm not really clean, I'm always looking at certain things real quick, and I want to trust what this person's telling me, write the application, and lo and behold, they have little side businesses and other little things, and so, again, insurance, your data's out there, they will find it. And so since we talk about my time is limited today, I'm giving you this handout, and we're going to go over a few things in depth. But always can have a consultant with your legal and accounting and tax services. We should be a part of your financial team because we need to be soundboards of what you're doing and what you plan to do so we can guide you in the right direction. The first thing is your business should always be in the legal name of your business. If you're registered with Maryland, whether you're a sole proprietor or you're an S Corp, C Corp, LLC, that's how your business should be written. So if you are a sole proprietor, your insurance policy should read Jane Doe doing business as getting the job done. It's really important that you have that named insured correct on your policy. We say it happens all the time. Insurance is based on risk class, what you're doing, whether you're a painter, landscaper, then also they can look at payroll and or sales. So there's lots of different classifications there. Your insurance may be audited. So what you put in your application and what you're projecting at the end of the year when your policy is up for renewal, your insurance carrier may request your records for those proof of sales, payroll, and whatnot to see if you're owed more premium or getting a premium back. Because again, coverages are not one size that fits all. It's really good to keep good records. And I say this with love. I have clients come in and just give me bank statements. And unfortunately, when you're a sole proprietor, you may be taking expenses out of your own personal bank account, but just giving the insurance company 12 months of statements and highlighting things is not good corporate record. So just a little thing there. But again, there are many types of coverages and endorsements for each type of insurance. Come on, welcome.
I actually have another to attend.
You're okay.
But I know everybody in here, so I stop.
No, you're welcome. Welcome. So again, there's different coverages for each type of insurance. We're not going to go over all that today, but that's why you talk to someone like me, your agent you currently have, or your current insurance company. So now back to my handout. The first thing we're going to talk about is liability protection. That's mostly what everyone always needs to get. When you get a certificate of insurance, they want to know what your liability is for. So your liability is going to protect you from lawsuits and costly claims. I have MD 3-year rule here in parentheses. Does anyone know what that means? Okay. For auto
statute limitations.
Yeah, so in Maryland, when there's an auto accident or an insurance claim, people can sue you up to 3 years from that incident. We see it mostly on the auto insurance, but you get into a fender bender, whether it's your fault or whatnot, you think the person's fine, there's a lot of different scenarios. But again, we see these lawsuits come in 2 weeks before that 3-year period is up. And I'm telling you, it's been 2 weeks. I've seen probably about 5 lawsuits in my 30-year career, and they've all been within 2 weeks of that 3-year period. And think about it. We understand we may have pre-existing conditions. We have to keep going back to doctors. Maybe keep going back for surgeries. There's rehab. Why are you going to settle if you really don't know what your overall impact is of that accident and your well-being? So it happens.
Would you prefer after you finish speaking if you have a comment?
Yeah, just in case I'm going to cover it. Yeah, thank you, Ann. I appreciate that. So again, we have customer injuries, slips, falls, accidents due to negligence. So in order for liability to happen, you have to be negligent. Just because someone slips and falls on your premise does not mean that you were negligent. But was your floor wet? Was there debris on your steps? There's a lot of different things. But again, remember the yellow pages? Back in the day, the telephone books? How big was the section of attorneys back then? And it's still that way. There's attorneys out there that need to work on your case, and they're gonna try to fight us, the insurance carriers, and try to get money for you. So there's that issue there. Property damage. Obviously, property can happen all the time, property damage, and then errors for your mistakes in your services. So again, we all have a professional liability for some of our services we do. Like I have errors and omissions, I'm sure Christine does, I'm hoping you ladies do, because if we make a mistake in print, media, advertising, and that costs somebody anything, then you have to make sure you have that E&O coverage. One thing I'm going to talk briefly about is being a general contractor and then being a subcontractor. We know when you're doing a job, we all can't be everyone to everybody. So there's that handyman out there. Well, what's that handyman really doing? Maybe he can paint, but he can't do electrical. So he's now going to have to sub out some of his jobs. It's really important that you make sure that they provide you proof of insurance for their own coverage. Otherwise, you're going to have to cover them on your own policy. So, again, there's the class codes. There's going to be different class codes for a painter as opposed to a landscaper. And then snow removal. You know, I have to realize, you know, when you're a landscaper, you're busy in the summertime. What do you do in the winter? You snow removal. But you have to make sure your insurance carrier knows that. It's different class codes and a lot of exclusions. So we talk about here the reality. One lawsuit can cost $50,000 or millions of dollars. I've seen it happen. Ask yourself, could your business survive a lawsuit tomorrow? Because policies have limits. Most of your insurance policies, the cap is going to be $1 million per occurrence and $2 million aggregate. So that $1 million means that per occurrence. So if you're sued for $1.5 million, that's where that $500,000 is going to have to come out of your personal pocket. Everybody has limits. There's no such thing as full coverage. That's one taboo word we do not like hearing is full coverage. Next page, property protection. So this is your building, replacement cost value, and your property. So if you're renting an office space, do you have office equipment? I have clients, we have a lot of, you know, just in Southern Maryland, we have a lot of strip malls, like an office park, so to speak. So we may just be renting that space. But again, you want to make sure you're protecting what's in that space as well. And, you know, always have some kind of Excel spreadsheet on what you own. Because if you do have a fire, you know, when we're looking at a pile of ashes, the adjuster can't really say, what did you have without proof? You know, so we see on the homeowner side, you really need to start keeping documentation of what you have. And for building values, this goes into your homeowners also. If you own a commercial building, you have to insure to value. So it's really important that you talk with your agent to get the square footage, the construction type, all additions and improvements to figure out what we need to insure the building for. It's really important. Because I'm telling you, most businesses cannot afford a lot of out-of-pocket to rebuild. And that's why you see some buildings sometimes never rebuilt because they're really struggling with insurance. So again, asking yourself, if everything was lost today, could you reopen? And what time frame can that be? The next is workers' compensation. It's something that you may not need depending on what type of business you are, but it's going to cover your employees' injuries and medical costs. It's going to replace lost wages, and it's going to prevent lawsuits. This is a big certificate of insurance that I also need a lot of times. And again, if you're subbing out, you want to make sure that they have their own workers' comp. Otherwise, you're going to be covering them on your workers' comp. Again, even a minor injury can cost tens of thousands. And to me, it's also valuing an employee's safety and well-being. I see so many people that don't have their workers' comp. And we do the quotes and they decide not to get it, but it does dishearten me knowing that they are working for you and if something were to happen, there's no coverage. Now we go to business auto. This is a commercial auto policy, right? So this is if it's company owned or work related, or if your employees are driving for work purposes. Obviously, the business auto, we think general contractors, right? We see a lot of contractors out there. But again, depending what you're doing, you still might need a business auto policy. Maybe because of the gross vehicle weight. Most people don't have a dually as a personal lines auto vehicle. or they're not gonna have a 15-passenger van as a personal auto vehicle. So, and obviously if you have attached equipment, ladder racks, also signage. You know, if you're in an accident and you have signage on your vehicles, that's not really a private passenger auto. Now it's a billboard, which is great, but the insurance company's gonna wanna know why you don't have business insurance, and then maybe your personal auto lines policy may not cover that claim if it was used for business purposes. So again, personal auto insurance does not always cover business insurance. So again, looking at is your vehicles covered for business use. Next is income protection. Obviously we can get sick, we can get hurt. That's disability insurance. Workers' comp covers you while you're actively working on the job. Disability covers you 24/7. So again, we're going into 5 insurances. I know we can be insurance poor, but again, this is just something that we have to look at. So disability, again, is going to cover you 24/7. You know, I've had a policy with Aflac for a long time. I mean, people don't really talk about disability insurance, but you just never know when an illness or something's going to happen that you may need it. It's going to keep your lost income and keep your household stable. And again, how long can you survive without income if you do get hurt? The next is people protection, and that's life insurance. That's on you as a business owner, and then maybe on your employees, key person. Because if your key person's bringing in $200,000 a year or $50,000 a year, they're the breadwinner of the company, and something happens to them, how do you replace that income? And that's with key person insurance. People don't realize that a lot of times. And life insurance creates tax-free money to your beneficiaries. So yes, you can have a lot of money in mutual funds, CDs, checking and savings, but or even in the stock market, the stock market takes a little dip, that's the day you die, there's definitely an inheritance issue there. And there's several types of insurance. I'm not going to go over that today, but I'm going to give you some resources on what's out there. But again, just like renting a home and, renting an apartment and buying a home, it's the same with life insurance. It's the cost and obviously what's the reason for the risk. Without a plan, ownership and income can fall into chaos. So we're going to talk about succession planning too. The next one is cyber protection. I was telling Dawn and Rosanna before we came here that I did a cyber security talk with another tech guy from the Chamber of Commerce 10 years ago. And that was just, cyber wasn't even, it was not really a known word back then. It was just, you may have heard about it. Even social media wasn't as prevalent 10 years ago as it was now. But again, we have so many things that we touch now. We have our phones, we have laptops, we have Kindles, cell phones, everything. There's data breaches and ransomware attacks more than we think. I was telling ladies, I think I know 3 or 4 people just within 5 miles of where we're sitting right now that have had issues. And they're not make it public because they may not have to, depending on how much was lost. It hurts your reputation. You're not taking care of my personal information. And now we talk about all these third-party vendors. Think of all the apps we have now to take a payment. Think how, there's so many hands involved in our information, we don't even know how it got hacked. A lot of people are outsourcing. I appreciate giving everyone a job. But again, I think when it comes to moving things out of the country, we have to make sure that we all have safeguards in place. And I don't think a lot of people, are using the VPNs and keeping their information safe and secure for us anyway. Again, ransomware attacks, and again, you don't realize, and I kind of wish I referred to that presentation I did 10 years ago, because the legal costs for that, hi there, welcome. You're okay. The legal costs are just crazy, and it's going to hurt your reputation. And you are, depending on the amount, you're going to have to report that to Visa or MasterCard, the credit card companies, and also all of the credit reporting companies. So it can really, really, really hurt you. I just got something. I'll call them out because maybe you're, MedStar. My husband had to have services from MedStar I think in 2011, when he had his, anyway, but they just got hacked in September, October of last year.
You got a letter.
We just got it last week, yes ma'am.
The letter came.
Yep, and I went in, I'm getting, even though I have my own subscription with Experian, I decided to get the free because there's a little more benefits with that, because the more eyes on your stuff, the better. But again, MedStar is local, and it happens with Social Security. I mean, there's just so many things have been hacked over the years. Thanks, yeah. So again, could your business recover from a cyber attack? Not only the cost, but maybe the morale and your reputation. So the next is succession planning. You almost need to have your exit strategy as you're opening your business, because we just never know when, again, we'll leave this earth. I mean, just found out one of my friends from church died today, or yes, a few days ago. So it's just heartbreaking news that we just never know when something's going to happen. But again, if something were to happen to you, how is your business going to be passed on? Is it going to be a fire sale and you have to get, discounted dollars, or do you have a plan in place for real succession planning and have a true value for it? Because who's going to take it over? And depending how you are registered with the state, sole proprietor, LLC, you can talk with your accountant and your legal team about that. But mostly your family benefit, what makes a difference, and that's how life insurance can help too. So without a plan, we talk about confusion, loss, and missed wealth, because you pass away, you've been taking care of your employees, but how long is that payroll going to last if you're not here, or who knows your passwords, who knows where your paperwork is, so those things we have. A long time ago, I'd given seminars over the years, I gave people a key as, not for key personal insurance, but give this key or give something to, always give some important information to someone else and a spouse, because then we all travel together, you have no idea when something's going to happen, you want to make sure that they know where all of your information is. So again, building a business is powerful, but protecting it is transformational, and it does take a process. All this insurance does not happen in one day. The planning is very overwhelming. I mean, we get it, and that's why we try to take different steps for you. And there's a lot of noise out there. Again, you're watching YouTube videos, you're talking to your friend, or we're trying to figure out what's going to be the best for you. So, Dawn, I don't know if you can pull up these websites I want to tell everyone about. It's on your back of your pages for resources. So these are from the insurance. These are Maryland government web pages for you. So they're impartial to carriers. We're not talking about travelers. We're not talking about nationwide. There's the specific items for you to look at. But you can see here all the list of all insurances. If you click on these links when you go in, it'll give you more information on those topics that you need. And now Dawn's going to go into the one on, click on that one on commercial insurance. And if you scroll down, there's going to be a PDF. It says Business Owner's Guide to Commercial Insurance. So these are like the 5-10-minute guides that Maryland Insurance has for you. Again, they're not tailored to travelers, they're not tailored to the insurance carriers, so every carrier is going to have their own differences in coverages and endorsements, but this gives you a highlight. And the last one is NAIC, which stands for the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. So if you bookmark this and you go to Consumer, right in that middle, insurance advice, there's also information there, especially on long-term care. Again, we even talk about flood insurance for your business. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe these 7, there could be maybe 10, but yeah, there's a lot. But I want to give you a brief overview. I'm sure you guys have great insurance, but sometimes having a second opinion, you realize you might be having some gaps. So again, thank you for the opportunity, and welcome your questions.
So you said to be sure and review your insurance. I guess annually would be right? Or?
Yeah, but obviously if something changes, like if not just, you want to pull it out because your carrier may have different endorsements for you, but if you know if you're deleting a service or you've moved or adding a service, then definitely do a check-in with us, just to make sure that things are covered with you properly.
Yeah. I will put in a plug for Carrie. Is not my agent, but I have a very good agent, and it is important to have a good agent.
It is.
I think you said something about having a team
Yeah.
earlier, and you're talking about tax. You ought to look at your tax plan, and I do say that. I have some friends who have become wealthy suddenly, and I keep telling them, you gotta go to your tax people, your accountant.
Yeah.
And really get that done, and some of them are so shy about spending money, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, but so the team would be the accountant, or tax person, the banker, the
insurance financial advisor,
and the lawyer.
Yeah.
That's where the BAIO.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
go ahead.
of course, now that you brought that up, I'm not gonna tell the backstory, but yeah, BAIL, BAIL, really is about the professionals that bail you out of trouble when you get into financial troubles. And of course, if you don't have the correct insurance, that can cost you. You don't have the amount of capital, for your business, that'll cost you. Legalities, or if you're liable for something, you need a lawyer, because that'll cost you. So all of that, and an accountant saves you money. So remember, bail is for the professionals that bail you out of trouble when you get into financial despair. And so you should have personal relationships with your agents.
Yeah,
They should know you by name.
Yeah.
You should. I'm not gonna say you should not, because it happens to a lot of people. Try not to wait until you get in trouble to go and develop relationships with a banker, accountant, insurance agent, or lawyer, right? They should know you. You should be inviting them to your children's weddings, all the important things. No, I'm kidding, but you should know them on that kind of basis, right? Don't wait till you get in trouble. Okay, so I had to say
Yeah,
that.
a financial advisor is another one, even though it's not in the BAIO.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, some of my friends have become wealthy suddenly, and of course I, as a nonprofit, want to help them to spend their money. Please give it to me. But what I find myself doing a lot is you need to go to your tax accountant and find out what's going to be advantageous to you, et cetera, because it is important. It's good to know what you can give and how much and all of that.
Yeah. So, Carrie, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned for contractors.
Yep.
So, if a contractor is servicing you on your property and they don't have insurance, then they can sue you?
No, so here's like an
Okay.
example.
Okay.
So, I'm looking at some different things. Like, I've had people get work done from a plumber. And then all of a sudden, about 2 months later, they're having issues with their faucets or their showers. And this is a true life story. One person, this plumber, increased the PSI. I don't know all these plumber terms, excuse me, but increased the water flow. Well, but didn't really think about all the piping that went in. So they had family at their Airbnb during 4th of July. Guess what happened? Pipes burst. And again, they're trying to save money, try to find someone cheap. They had to go through their homeowner's insurance, which we covered, but then the insurance company could subrogate against the contractor for faulty work. You know what I mean? So there's just those issues there. It just depends on how the incident happened actually, man. That's just the big thing. But if you have someone coming to your home, make sure they have their own workers' comp.
Yes.
Because if you are negligent on something, and they get hurt on your property because of something, you don't want them to sue you when they don't have workers' comp. There's always going to be gray area, and I say this with love, but you never want to give the insurance company a gray area not to pay for your claim.
Yeah, I do like that advice to, ask them to see their insurance.
Yes.
Card or whatever it costs.
And we are finding out now, as I, because I am licensed, we go through to continuing education every few years, we are now seeing so much fraud in different spaces of businesses, and contractors, one of them, especially with all the hail damage around here. They're the poachers, ambulance chasers, I hate to say it, but people are falsifying certificates of insurance. I mean, they really are. So even if you get proof, call the agent that's on there, just don't take their word for it, because they are falsifying records.
Good advice.
Yeah.
The last comment I wanted to make was, I just today, what you said about casualty and liability insurance, which that's not going to be my area of expertise, but I was talking to my attorney today because I was involved in a hit and run. I was hit, they ran, and we're settling the claim. And I was just thinking it was a year. I was just thinking we had a year to get it all done. But just today, she told me that we had 3 years. But I'm trying to get my money now. But what I want to say is you should settle it, as soon as possible, because the attorneys and all that, they have to do a lot of research and sending out, like she has to send out a lot of information to my insurance carriers to make sure that to let them know, because if they found out that I got in an accident, I'm sure Edsel knows more about this, but if I got in an accident and they paid the claim and they didn't know it, then they can come after me and, charge me more. Because I was like, why are you trying to let all my insurances know that I was in an accident? And that's what she said. You want me to do this, because if they, say, I pay the claim, on, Ann's leg, and that was related to the accident, then, whatever. So,
wait, I don't understand that. So, like, if it's a small accident, people in my business, because our insurance is so high, if it's a small accident, we try to pay it ourselves and not go through the insurance company. So,
let's say you received, and this is specifically for medical, right? So I was involved in the hit and run. I had to have chiropractic care, so on and so forth, right? So let's just say hypothetically, so I went specifically to a chiropractic care provider. But let's say I did go to my primary care doctor, but not for the accident. I was just going for something else. But what if she put in her records that she, looked at me for my back or something because of the accident? So she could have, and what if she billed, because you don't always know, right? What if she billed the insurance a code related to an accident? Because I did tell her I was in an accident, right? But I didn't think she was treating me for the accident because I'm going straight to the chiropractor, right? So what if she found out, or what if I had never told her and she found out that she submitted a claim, right? She submitted a claim for my accident and she never got paid for it. Let's say she didn't submit the claim. She treated me for my back incident and never submitted the claim. So then I say to her a year or two later, oh yeah, when I was in the accident, so on and so forth, and she says, oh yeah, I treated you for that, and I should have been paid. I should have been paid by, the lawsuit or whatever. And if that didn't happen, then she could sue me. Because I didn't tell her, and because there was payment, I got paid. I got paid from the lawsuit.
Oh, I see.
And she treated me but didn't know it.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do now.
Okay. So it's important when you have these legalities to take care of them as quickly as you possibly can, because there's a lot of paperwork involved that you may not know of, and it could go past the 3 years.
Question.
Yes.
Okay, and so as a realtor, I have E&O insurance.
Good for you.
And from your vantage point, I don't know, are you pretty much Would you say there's sort of general, policies are written for,
They
for
are.
a company?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is it possible many times that they don't cover everything?
There's probably some type of exclusions on there. I mean, first of all, I think of, most exclusions we see now are like the molestations and things like that. I mean, daycares are hard to write, but for E&O, I'm trying to think of like what.
So it's a real try to just make a mistake on a contract.
Yeah.
Which costs.
Yeah.
Client.
I tell people a lot of times it's most important to read the exclusions before you read the coverages. Because, and a lot of times too, you're not getting a packet in the mail now, you're getting an email to you. So it's like a 133 page document, but you have to look at those exclusions. Yeah.
Okay.
And then one thing I didn't talk about either is the excess umbrella coverage. So your liability is usually maxed out at $1 million on your normal business policies, but you get an excess or an umbrella insurance, and that will give you usually up to $5 million. And you can go to another carrier and get up to $10 million. But you probably need financial statements to figure out, why you're requesting a $10 million policy. But we have done that before. But certain carriers, like I'm throwing Nationwide Travelers, most will do is 3 or 5 million. Anything over 5, you gotta go to another broker to see. We had some broker guys look at your coverages for that exclusion. Robin?
If you just have a rental house, is
Yeah.
that, and it's not a business, it's just, okay, we bought this house. And
It's a business. Well, here's how insurance, if it's owner occupied. If it's not owner occupied, it has to be a different type of policies, different exposure. So when you have renters in there, even if it's your children not paying you any money, it's still considered a rental policy called a dwelling fire. And that's on the homeowner side. And then that has different coverages and endorsements and usually different premium. So yeah, and if you're doing it, that's what, I wrote that Augusta tax thing on because that's crazy because insurance companies really do not want you to rent out your place because of liability issues. And that's how I find things on social media. Even when you rent out your pool, it's just like I can go on hours on the crazy things that people are doing to try to make money. And again, I appreciate entrepreneurship, but I think there's a risk involved for the amount of money that you're making. So, yeah, again, Airbnbs, Verbos, some carriers like them, some don't. But, and some you want to have I was going to write a policy the other day, but because his client didn't have a lease agreement with his renter, it's 1 month to month, one of the insurance companies says, no, we're not going to take you because there's no lease agreement. So carriers are getting more and more tighter on their underwriting. You have to pay out. Yeah, $500,000. So, but renters, it's still considered, it's a different kind of rental kind of policy.
I guess I was trying to think, we have a business policy on the house. But I'm like, are there other things? We do have a or umbrella policy too.
Good.
Are there other things that you mentioned all the different kinds of insurance out there? Do we have umbrella? Do we have the right stuff?
Yeah. Umbrella is usually the big thing. Whether you can, that's when you work with your legal team on what are your assets and your liabilities, what is your net worth, because that's when you really have to figure out how much umbrella do I need. Or putting things in an LLC or an S Corp or C Corp, so you're not, because I tell people, all your assets are riding on the hood of your car. Your car that you're driving is your most valuable asset, because you ran somebody, or you don't know who you're going to hit, whether they're a doctor making millions of dollars, or someone making, somebody working at Starbucks making $18 an hour, you don't know who we're going to hit. But again, you want to be financially protected. So looking into, I tell my people sometimes, if you are doing rentals, get them out of your own personal name and open up an LLC, or there's some kind of, to get out of your personal assets.
Oh.
But some people think when I was at LLC, I don't need insurance.
Yeah, but
not true.
What you said about 14 days, that's like the summer might be 7 weeks, two days.
Yeah, but again, if there is a claim, the insurance company has to find out what happened. And they find out, Jane Doe had some candles or decided to use the grill or stove and or brought her pit bull in, or any kind of dog, and bit somebody. I mean, those are the kind of things that we see, is the dogs, the trampolines, the pools. Insurance companies call them attractive nuisances. That's the first thing. I mean, insurance companies does not like fun. There's a premium there. Out of 1,000.
Yeah. I'm just saying that when she said there was an exclusion from income tax.
Oh, for the tax.
For the 14 days, that person still has to look at the insurance. Because what I was seeing when you said that was there's 2 days and a weekend, you rent a place for 7 weeks, there's your 14 days. But on the other hand, I hadn't thought of it till you, just putting it together.
Again, this is my world, so I see it, and I've kind of been off social media for a while, though I'm on it, I'm just not on it as much, but a lot of things I see on social media, I'm like, who shouldn't see it? And especially in the winter time, the hail and everyone just trying to poach on people, it's just really, and I appreciate entrepreneurship, just do it right. Do it right, because someone's watching. So we all have a higher power, and it's just, so be kind and just treat everyone as you're supposed to be treated, really, yeah.
What would you say for young people who are planning these different things, their insurance planning and their tax planning? What are some suggestions you would have for young people because most young people don't think about? What are things that they should be thinking about for both insurance, accounting, and tax?
Again, interview an agent, interview myself, interview State Farm, interview Erie, find out what they can bring to the table. You know what I mean? We're commissioned. We're commissioned, so we want to earn your business, but I also feel that everyone deserves insurance either. There's some people like, I could just, if you're not going to make my recommendation, you can, go somewhere else. I have a license to protect, so it's important that I do what's foremost for my insurance carrier, not just to pay my phone bill. You know what I mean? But yeah, interview people, because I think you have to have good rapport. And you meet Christine, you meet somebody else down the street. If you have a good vibe, great, but you really have to have a conversation of what your dreams are so we can guide you. So you have to write down all on paper, and then we can give you your advice that way.
Can I add to that? With regards to insurance, it costs to wait. You're never too
procrastination.
You're never too young to get insurance. In fact, parents get insurance on babies, right? But when you become of a certain age, you need to get insurance for yourself. And the earlier you start, the less expensive it is for you. The later you wait, because when you get a little older, get ailments and have things happen. And I think it was Carrie that said it. The insurance industry, agents, whoever, they find your information. And now your health information, they have a big database. So you cannot, hide health situations, right? If you're a smoker and you've been treated for something, they're gonna find it. Or anything. But my point is, and I just share this really quickly, I told you I was in the industry before. I remember sitting at my work desk. I was 25 years old, and there was an agent on the phone. I work for group insurance. So there was somebody on the phone, and he was asking me, did I have my own policy? And I was like, 25 years old, healthy, I'll get it later, right? I did get it later in life, but I spent it. I cashed them in and all. And so the point being, the later I waited, now my insurance, I could have been paying $30 a month into the rest of my life, but now I have to pay over $100 and some odd dollars a month. So it pays to wait. Yeah. So it costs you. It costs you to wait.
Yeah.
Well, and it is important. The financial advisor can really help you to decide when to, like when you cashed out, is that a good idea or not, whatever. But that's why I talk about
Yeah, I know, yeah.
using them, yeah.
And there's a reason why I have so many policies, because again, as a business owner, and then I had my son, and then so assets change, and so you don't have to have one policy.
Right.
You know, many people have multiple, and you can have some term, you have some permanent, doesn't mean one is better than the other, it's for whatever that need is. But I have many clients who are, buying term insurance that's really cheap, and now that they're 65 and 70, they realize my term is ending, and I'm like, if it was expensive then, it's gonna be expensive now.
I want to say the key to maximizing your tax return to, the young folks is to keep good goods. Record keeping is one of the key points to maximizing your tax return. And a lot of people, as being a business owner, they leave out their mileages. To track your mileages, like every day, say you guys have to come to my office, you want to track those mileages. It's really, really important. Mileages. And when you follow your mileages, you also can depreciate your vehicle. So, that's a great tax deduction on your tax return. So
even this one, right? This is a business meeting for them.
Right, this is a business meeting, right? So I can actually track these mileages.
But if you're a corporation, can you do that?
Absolutely, any business, yeah.
That's
S Corp,
like
C Corp,
self-corp.
LLC, sole proprietor, track your mileages is definitely a good
Just keep all
credibility
your
to tax.
records. Bottom line, keep your records
Keep
because
the
when you
records.
send to the
Yeah.
tax person,
Yeah.
whoever they are, incorporated LLC or S Corp, they should tell you if they're good, how you can use it on your tax return.
Right, there's a app, StrideTax. StrideTax, if you download that onto your cell phone, it tracks your mileages for you. So at the end of the
What's
year,
it
all
called?
you have to do is kind of print out that report.
Stride, STRIDE.
Yes, StrideTax.
That's an app? That's an app?
That's an app.
And it's
It's so
CPAs.
true now, it's so true now that all these, the tax, the attorneys, and the legal profession, they talk about, they're not gonna have, yes, they have a lot of, and insurance, have a lot of business because you have risk, there's a lot more risk that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And the tax laws are changing all the time.
Yeah.
And legal matters. I mean, those are the industries, financial services, that's the truth.
Yeah, and I don't recommend you doing your own taxes if you don't have any tax
No.
knowledge. So a lot of people use TurboTax, one of the hottest things out there right now. But I find those folks coming to my office because they messed up their tax returns. So now I have to amend their tax returns and go behind their work. So if you don't know the tax laws, you're gonna miss out on some things, because the tax laws change all the time. And every year I have to get certification hours. And I usually go to the IRS tax form, which is all over the place. So I go get my certification hours, so I'm updated with all the new tax laws every year.
Is it still wise to keep your gas receipts? Is gas?
So with the gas receipts, your tires and stuff like that, those are actual expenses. They usually don't outweigh the mileages. The mileages, you get better results with mileages as opposed to the actual expenses.
And it's so much
With
easier.
this gas, with these
Yeah, right.
gas
Even with the
prices?
gas prices now, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I have a horrible story. My son-in-law passed away in 2021. And like the month before he passed away, they were offered through the company life insurance. And he told my daughter, we're not even 40 yet. I mean, and refused it. And so, you just never know. Just never know.
That's a good point, Roseanne. I was going to ask about. I forgot. That's a life insurance that's offered by your employer, or insurance versus that they offer, but may not always be with your
No,
employer.
it's a great point. underestimate, still take it, but have something else. Because whether you leave or they terminate that benefit, you want to have something, and it's all about you controlling it.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing about the pension at work and all that stuff. You want to have your own individual retirement account, IRA. It's a nice little side gig get back by your employer, but you want to control it. Yeah.
Because your employees, they own that policy, and it may not be portable. So you don't have it. Some of them are portable, but not all of them. So yeah, you want to check it. And just like I love what you said, you got to read your policies, because and you can't assume that if we're business owners, but you can share this with the people that you know that are employed with employers. The employer can change the benefits, because a lot of times they're self-insured, so they change their benefits. So what you have one year, you might not have the next year. So you got to read your policies, because a lot of times, and then, oh my God, a lot of times you think you have something and you don't. That's not what you had. You misunderstood. And so you think you're fully covered, and then you just have accident insurance. You know, accidental
We say that
death.
all the time. I thought they had life insurance, but it was ADD, accidental death and dismemberment.
Oh, wow.
So you only get
So if
paid
they died
if
of
you-
cancer, there was no coverage. So it happens a
So
lot.
you gotta know.
Happens a lot.
Yeah, and develop a relationship with somebody who knows the business intimately.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
And the NAIC also has an insurance, I think, policy locator. So, because we have a lot of people, you know, think about your grandparents that did the old debit agents back in the day. They may only be $1,000 or $5,000, but they're missing money. So it might be under claimed assets too on the government website, but NAIC probably the past 10 years has really upped that database to find policies.
So that happened with me. My grandmother
Oh,
had
okay,
a policy, and when she turned 100 and she hadn't cashed in, or no one cashed in, they started to contact her beneficiaries, and no one knew about that.
Exactly, yes. So tell people, and I have tons, I mean, there's ways you can track down, I mean, put your information on it, whether it's in a book or an app, just make sure someone knows where your stuff is. That's the most important thing. You know, my brother gave me a thing like, I'm dead, so what? But, you know, obviously my husband and my child needs to understand what's the next step, you know? I shared my accountants, I share my attorney, share my financial advisor, right in their phone, so the person to call.
Yes. A lot of families are superstitious about talking about this stuff. Like they feel like if they talk about it, it's going to happen. But my family, I will say this, my family, years ago, we made it fun. We made it fun. We said, okay, we're going to, everybody get together, and we're going to talk about our glory wishes. And, you know, where you can find, you know, this, that, and the other. My one sister is a sorority girl, and we were like, oh, we're going to bury you, and I know you want to be buried in pink and green. So we just laughed and made fun, kind of, about it, but it let us know when my mom and dad died, you know, we knew kind of, we had talked about it. Everybody heard it. It wasn't like one sister said, no, Dad told me this, Dad told me that. No, we were in the room together. We all heard that he, you know, wanted to, if he got incapacitated, he wanted to go to the old folks' homes. You know what I mean? So,
What you call it, the glory what? The glory?
We called it our
glory wishes.
But like just on the succession plan, I mean, I hope in the attorney you guys had on there talked about, you know, your business succession plan and what you need to do, what documents you need, and to have your successor, because it is important, because we don't all make it to 90, we don't all make it till retirement, and you just need to have a plan. Because I'm telling you, there will be a fire sale. Your spouse will have to give it up, and you want to make sure you get the best for your dollar.
I swear, everything we talk about today, I'm going for it. I'm selling my parents' estate. Got it, you know, hit
We're
run.
sandwich generations too now. We're taking care of our parents, and some are taking care of our kids or grandkids. So we have there's not a lot of money coming in, but we're spending a lot. So that's why this is like, it gets hard for people. I don't have it in my income to do all this, but knowledge is power. You got to figure out, you know, what you may need and where you're gonna change.
Thank everyone for coming in.
Thank you. ladies, but
My first time using it.
But on May the 16th at the First Baptist of Glen Arden, they're having a huge financial planning, insurance, everything conference. First Baptist Church of Glen Arden
Oh, good.
on May the 16th.
Okay, that's a
So-
birthday.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. But yeah, thank you.
But people will definitely follow up, I'm sure, with everyone here. But I went last year, and I'm not the type that. I know you got a plan, but I enjoyed that conference because it gave practical tips like here, but they covered from A to Z, soup to nuts. People were losing their jobs, where you could go if you had to, sue because you lost your job.
Yeah.
I mean, they had everything. So it's gonna be online too.
Oh, it's gonna be
Yeah,
online?
it's gonna be online too.
Was this secretary that was the presenter?
I think she was. Is she?
She's the one who writes for the post.
Well, but
Oh, she has a wonderful, wonderful column in the Post.
there were more. I mean, there was like 50 to 60 different web workshops.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, but it was
It was worth it.
It was well
Yeah.
done. I had never cared. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Dawn. I appreciate working with you.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
But the only reason I said it was worth the time, and I'm not one that'll go and sit for a whole day.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I was like, this was worth it. But it's all a process.
It is, yeah. It's like how you eat an elephant one bite at a time. You can't fix all this in one day. There's no way. No way.
Right.
And you have a spouse who may not think like you do.
Right.
So now we got conflicting, personalities, and I'm at the table. I'm like, okay, this is great.
You just sit back and wait for the.
Who's the decision maker here? But so yeah.
My mentor says
Behavioral science.
It is the wife's responsibility to make sure that the husband is well insured or has enough insurance on him, or the household has enough insurance policies to cover. It's the wife's responsibility to make sure, because if the husband perishes first, what you gonna live on? What you gonna live on?
And
You better make
statistically
sure
speaking, that's
they
what happens.
do.
Yeah, but moms do too, because you can't replace their salary for
that's true.
daycare and being a cook and everything else that they do. I mean, their value
We want to make sure that our family, if we go first, that they're going to be taken care of.
I insure my moms just as much as I insure the dads. You need to. Yeah. Things happen. Yeah. Things happen.
Right. No, we're not saying don't insure.
Oh, no. What I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, it's the woman. It's a little sexist, but the women should make sure that there's enough money. There's enough money.
Thank you, guys.